the Duchess's daughter unexpectedly awakened to her past life memories. She discovered she was the vicious antagonist in an Otome game. Her ending was either death or exile overseas. Katerina, the spoiled eldest daughter who adored the third prince. Because of an accident, she tripped and hit her forehead. She surprisingly recovered her past life's memories. She discovered she had been transported into an Otome game. She became one of the wicked female supporting characters who met a tragic end. Little Ka woke up with her memories restored. Her personality was generous and cheerful, perfectly masking this life's spoiled temper. She was unconcerned about the scar on her forehead. Her maturity was shocking. Unexpectedly, the guilt-ridden third prince proposed marriage. He wanted to take responsibility for the scar on Xiao Ka's face. Little Ka, whose memory had just been restored, was in a daze and felt guilty. She agreed without thinking, until the third prince smiled and left. It was the maid, surprised and delighted, who reminded her. Only then did she realize what had happened. The next day, she tried to recall the game's content. The protagonist of this Otome game, Maria, is a commoner girl with light magic. In the magic academy full of nobles, there are 4 handsome men, each with a distinct style. They are all her targets. Among them, the third prince, Jordo, who has a gentle smile but a cunning nature, is the cheap fiancé that Little Ka just acquired. In the original game setting, the spoiled Little Ka, after injuring her forehead, forces the third prince to engage with her. She was also jealous of Maria, and often bullied her with others, because she was a malicious villain. In all the storylines, Little Ka's ending was never exile abroad. It's because of the assassination attempt on Maria. She was killed by the male lead. To survive, Little Ka urgently convenes a mental meeting. The strong-willed Little Ka proposes breaking off the engagement to save their life. The weak-spirited Little Ka objects. A prince's engagement isn't something you can just break off. The optimistic Little Ka says, then let's not go to the academy. We have endless money at home anyway. The serious Little Ka counters, Magic Academy is compulsory education. I, having demonstrated earth magic, must go. Even if she does nothing, the scheming third prince, who is in love with Maria, might very well plot to frame her. Finally, everyone agreed to adopt a wait-and-see approach. They decided to diligently improve their swordsmanship and magical abilities. This way, even if exiled abroad, she could protect herself. After the meeting, Little Ka sought out the Sword Saint for guidance on her swordsmanship training. As for magical power, Little Ka, whose IQ is stuck at the level of a malicious female side character, follows her grandmother's advice from her past life, and cleverly communicates with the source of magic through farming methods. The third prince, who happens to visit, finds that his fiancée has turned into a rural farm girl. Little Ka's mother can't bear it and faints immediately. The third prince listens to the female lead's bizarre theories. I tried really hard to hold back my laughter. Such a special girl. Please stay by my side forever. My fiancé, Jordo, is still in danger. Another male lead, Keith, has already appeared. Keith is an illegitimate child from a relative's family. Because of his strong magical power, he was adopted by Little Ka's parents. In the game, Keith has always been bullied by Xiao Ka. He could only stay alone in his room. The lonely Keith grew up to become a playboy. He was only completely healed after meeting the heroine, Maria. In Keith's love story route, the villain, Little Ka, still couldn't escape her doomed fate. Why does every couple have to sacrifice her? Don't female supporting characters have rights? To save her life, the tough Little Ka suggested throwing the young Keith away. This was met with unanimous opposition. Instead of bullying his younger brother, it would be better to spoil him. That way he wouldn't like the heroine because of loneliness, and Little Ka would be saved. So Little Ka immediately found Keith and offered to show him around the manor. Little Ka not only took Keith to visit her vegetable garden, but also tried to teach her to climb trees. In her past life, Little Ka was known as the Monkey King. She climbed very high in a flash. She looked down to show off to her younger brother. Unexpectedly, she slipped and fell. Little Ka was unharmed by the accident, but her younger brother, Keith, was accidentally sat to death by her. Finally got rid of one male lead. Just kidding. The tough Keith survived, as expected. After this incident, the sibling relationship grew even better. Little Ka remembered that Keith, like herself, had Earth-type magic. Curious, she wanted to see him demonstrate his magic. Unable to resist his sister's pleading, Keith reluctantly agreed. He conjured a tiny little Earth person. After watching the amusing Earth person dance, Little Ka foolishly begged GIs to make the figurine bigger. My sister's request. Keith simply couldn't refuse. Unexpectedly, Little Ka, seeing the giant Earth person, foolishly ran too close. Finally, he was knocked away by the out-of-control Earth magic. Waking up, the first thing Little Ka saw were her worried parents. Little Ka learned from his father that, although Keith had powerful magic, he couldn't control it yet. Earlier, he saw his half-brothers throwing stones at a bird's nest. In a moment of panic, he unleashed a wide-range Earth magic spell. It severely injured the other children. He was isolated and ostracized by everyone, treated like a monster. Knowing the truth, Little Ka was filled with regret. Anxiously, she rushed to apologize to Keith. Little Ka was stunned. This child is driving her toward a tragic end. To prevent her younger brother from falling into isolation, little Ka swung an axe to break down the door. As the door shattered completely, she stepped into Keith's room. From then on, the young warrior little Ka completely broke down Keith's defenses. With the awakening of her past life memories, Xiaoka was no longer willful and spoiled, but the Duchess's upbringing was also completely lost. Her mother strictly forbade her from going out and embarrassing herself, but the invitations she received could not be declined. To her surprise, she was quite popular. Finally free from being a girl, little Ka started to eat to her heart's content. The younger brother, Keith, who came along, had a terrible headache. The Duke's family never lacks pastries. Sis, take it easy. As expected, eating too much my stomach can't take it. After taking care of the big matter, little Ka arrived at a beautiful flower garden. There, sitting, was the fourth young lady of the house, Mary. The cute girl seemed a bit timid for some reason. Little Ka suspected that she had scared the little one. She quickly adjusted her expression and praised the beautiful garden. To her surprise, this entire garden was actually managed by Mary. Little Ka was overjoyed. She immediately invited Mary to visit her at home. It turns out that, for some reason, the vegetables little Ka planted had recently withered. She was thinking of finding an expert to take a look. An expert's insight reveals everything. Mary quickly found the cause in the notes. It turns out this land isn't suitable for growing vegetables. Switching to another plot would work. With Mary's help, the plants in the garden revived. Little Ka happily praised Mary. Baby, you're amazing. She truly has a green thumb, doesn't she, Mary? Wait, a green thumb? Why does that line sound so familiar? Little Ka snapped back to reality and remembered that Mary is Alan's fiancée, his third conquest. Alan is the twin brother of the third prince. He'd always felt inferior to his perfect brother. It wasn't until he met the female lead, Maria, that he gradually came to terms with it. In Alan's route, Mary replaces the role of little Ka. If the route is successful, Mary and Alan will divorce. If the route fails, Alan and Mary will live happily for the rest of their lives. They're also antagonists who hinder the romance. Why does their ending turn out so well? For little Ka, it's either death or exile. Well, that's because you have the evil character setting. The worst part is, the reason why Mary fell for Alan is because Alan told her she possessed the green hand. Now little Ka inadvertently repeated Alan's line. Will the proud fourth prince still win his future wife's heart? A few days later, the fourth prince, Alan, visits Ka. He looks so gloomy. It's an unwelcome guest. As expected, as soon as Alan spoke, he accused Ka of flirting with his fiancée. Now, not only does Mary refuse to play with him, but the topics of conversation are all about Ka, that vixen. Ka, who was called a vixen, got angry. She mercilessly pointed out the truth. Your fiancé doesn't want to be with you. Oh, sorry. It was just a slip of the tongue. The angry Alan didn't listen to any explanation. Woman, you're playing with fire. Alan proposed a duel with Ka. The terms of the duel were to be chosen by Ka. Alright, then let's have a tree climbing contest. In less than 3 seconds, the winner was decided. You can't even climb a tree, and you want to win Mary's heart? Alan, with his strong competitive spirit, refused to admit defeat. He came to challenge little Ka every day. Although he never won, the two eventually developed feelings for each other and became friends. That day, Alan, who came to challenge Ka again, ran into his older brother. You challenge my fiancé every day? If you can't win, just give up. I won't give up. I refuse. To resolve the conflict between the two brothers, Ka suggested a piano duel. Compared to Ka, who can barely play a song, Alan is a musical genius. In response to Jordo's praise, Alan seemed very angry. Compared to his all-capable twin brother, Alan felt completely useless. Others also say he's just the leftover trash from Jordo. This competitive and prideful little Ka just can't understand. Just focus on your own goals. Let others talk. Besides, Jordo isn't all-powerful either. When Jordo showed up, little Ka threw his secret weapon at him, a toy fake snake. Faced with such a tragic fate, little Ka decided to make sure to eat and drink well and definitely not go on the road hungry. Keith kept watching her, the gluttonous sister. Is it really okay to eat so much? It turned out, there would definitely be problems. Little Ka, who had eaten too much, said he needed to excuse herself. She elegantly withdrew. But on the way, she encountered a vicious dog. Ka, who was afraid of dogs, was chased by it deep into the garden. She only escaped by climbing a tree. Having escaped danger, Ka wanted to climb down. Unexpectedly, a bullying scene was unfolding under the tree. Several noble children were verbally abusing a white-haired girl. Ka didn't want to get involved, but she couldn't help herself. There was no other way. Ka could only coolly leap down and return to the tea party. Little Ka, who was just about to continue eating, she ran into the spontaneous girl from before. The girl in front of her reminded her of a novel she had just read. A princess, disguised in commoner clothes, falls in love with a beautiful silver-haired girl. She touches her hair and says, "Your hair is like silk. Can I touch it?" Oh no. I just got too immersed in the story. I really didn't mean to offend you. I didn't expect the spontaneous girl to directly say the title of the book. She's actually a beautiful girl who loves reading novels. The reincarnated girl in another world. I've always wanted a friend to share novels with. Ka immediately proposed to claim the spontaneous girl as mine. Her little brother Keith and her friend Mary are dissatisfied. Isn't having the two of us enough for you? Of course, it's not enough. Who could resist a girl who loves reading novels? In the end, the two were still ruthlessly separated. The next day, the bulletproof girl Sophia came to visit. She also brought an incredibly handsome young man with black hair and black eyes. The young man introduced himself as Sophia's brother, Nick. Little Car felt that the name sounded familiar. Oh my, isn't this the fourth target in the game? The doll-like, icy boy? In the game, Nick is a super siscon. To conquer him, Sophia is the biggest obstacle. But the good news is this route has nothing to do with Little Car. It won't affect her approach to the pretty girls at all. Before leaving, Ka suggested exploring Sophia's spontaneity. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward. It turns out that in this world, spontaneity is considered ominous by people. Over time, Sophia started to feel that her white hair and red eyes were frightening. The beauty-conscious Ka said, "Why bother with all that? As long as it's beautiful, it's fine." She immediately saying, "Beautiful girl, I want to be your friend." On the way back, Sophia felt like she was dreaming. Although her brother often comforted her, she never thought someone like her could really make friends. That day, Little Ka came to visit Sophia's house, and met her parents. Both of them are rare beauties. Little Ka blushed when she looked at them. When they were leaving, Sophia went to help Ka get her book. That left her alone with the stoic and silent Nick. To ease the awkwardness, Ka decided to take a page from the neighbor's book. She complimented Nick's family. This was the first time Nick had heard such praise. Many people thought he was being dragged down by his strange sister. Only Ka spoke his mind. The doll-like handsome boy showed a smile for the first time. Little Ka almost couldn't handle it. To cope with the tragic fate in the future, Ka set 3 rules for herself. First, be kind. Stay away from evil. Second, let loose. Enjoy life. Finally, she'll also learn gardening to expand her skills, to ensure she can survive well even after she has exiled herself. 7 years later, Ka celebrated her 15th birthday. So-called attitude changes life. Now, Ka is loved by everyone. Jordo, her fiancé, looks at her with loving eyes. Seeing more and more rivals appear, Jordo emphasizes that he will absolutely not break off the engagement. Ka says, "Okay, if you like someone, just say it. Let's part amicably. Absolutely no entanglement." The scheming prince helplessly watched his clueless fiancé. He took direct action to make her throw herself at him. Like a puppy marking its territory, he nibbled on Ka's neck. Unfortunately, she remained as dense as ever. Keith said her neck was dirty and needed wiping, and she believed him. Next to dance is the 4th prince, Alan. As soon as he came up, he saw a red mark on Ka's neck. But this guy is a blockhead. Ka said it was a dog bite, and he believed it. After Alan is the icy handsome Nick. His magnetic charm captivated the noble ladies around him. He made conversation even when there was nothing to say. Ka asked him if he liked anyone. Nick said yes, but he couldn't say who, because he had fallen for someone he shouldn't have. Ka immediately started imagining a bunch of dramatic scenarios. She assigned a potential partner for Nick, from young to old. But the one person she never imagined was that Nick liked her. In the end, Ka's birthday party ended perfectly, and she is about to head to the Magic Academy. The real heroine, Maria, will make her appearance there. Before departure, her mother reminded her unruly daughter not to eat anything off the ground, and not to plant anything at school. Ka replied, "Mom, let's set some small boundaries first. I wish your daughter graduates alive." At the opening ceremony, Prince Jordo used snacks to lure Ka to his room. Foodie Ka happily agreed. However, the clingy Keith followed behind to prevent her sister from being devoured by the scheming prince. Just as Ka was happily eating snacks, Jordo mentioned that he had just met a girl named Maria. He also happened to escort her back to the dorm. Ka was shocked when she heard this. This meeting routine is exactly the same as in the game. In the game, Maria gets lost at school and tries to climb a tree to get her bearings. She happens to run into the 3rd prince nearby. Attracted by her interesting behavior, he gradually fell in love with her during our time together. But now Jordo's fiancé not only climbs trees but also farms. Maria is weak, okay? The next day, my younger brother, Keith, also said he met Maria. It can't be such a coincidence, can it? Ka remembers it's because the playboy in the game, Keith, actively strikes up a conversation with Maria. That's how they got to know each other. Although Keith's behavior now seems flirtatious, he's actually morally upright at his core. He looks confused and asks his sister what it means to chat with him with a confused look on his face. Little Ka gives him an explanation. It turns out that Keith simply picked up a handkerchief and returned it to the person. Thinking about it, in Keith's storyline, Ka's interference caused the two of them to have an unhappy ending. So she decided she must support her brother. She would fully support their relationship. Poor Keith. He'll never dare pick up anyone's handkerchief again. As the plot thickened with each passing moment, Ka's strong sense of crisis kept her awake at night. She immediately decided she still have to continue farming. This day, in the school hallway, the evil villain and the holy heroine, their fated encounter, happened so unexpectedly. After the first monthly exam, the perfect third prince claimed first place. The holy heroine Maria settled for second. The proud fourth prince, Alan, only got third place. Rank 888, little Ka looked at Alan. In the game, it was because Maria's excellent performance that made the competitive Alan become interested in her. But now Alan is as steady as an old dog. He just needs to focus on doing his best. Why bother about whether others are dazzling? So Ka is not only not jealous, she also took the initiative to ask the heroine for the snacks she made. Maria suddenly falls silent. She asks Ka how she knows she can make snacks. Ka feels awkward. She can't exactly say, "I played your past life. That's why I know you have this skill. It was just some nonsense I overheard in the kitchen." Knowing Ka likes handmade snacks, Maria shyly offered to feed her. After school, Ka, walking down the road, was drawn in by the smell of the snacks. She followed the scent all the way, and ran into Maria, who was being bullied. In this magic academy, full of nobles, a commoner with the rare power of light magic, Maria, this commoner became someone everyone could bully. To protect the snack and Maria, Ka stepped forward, standing in front of the heroine. With her frighteningly wicked face, a fierce red light burst out, scaring those noble ladies into fleeing in panic. It was the first time she was protected. Maria's pink, girlish heart was moved. But Ka was only focused on the snacks on the floor. According to the 3-second rule, Ka picked up a snack and smell it. "So, you really did jump out to save some snacks, huh?" Maria confirmed that she had finished all the snacks on the floor. She thought, is this person really a noble? But some people just like the snacks they make themselves. Maria was still very happy. The third prince, Jordo, happened to pass by. He saw the two of them holding hands. "It feels like my strange rival in love has increased. My wife from my past life is flirting with my wife in this life. Seems like I have nothing to do with it." The brave girl Ka, after going back, suddenly realized she had stolen the male lead scene again. In the original plot, Ka was supposed to lead people to bully Maria, only to be caught by the third prince who happened to pass by. He scared off the villain. The third prince praised Maria's pastries. The two of them truly fell in love. But now, the one protecting Maria is Ka. The romance between the heroine and the third prince hasn't even blossomed, before she cut it off with a sword, successfully cutting off a death line. After this, Ka and Maria became good friends. Maria often made snacks to feed Ka. Thanks to the delicious snacks, Maria successfully integrated into the main group. However, strangely, the warm and enthusiastic Maria only existed in the student council office. When they met elsewhere, she suddenly became just an acquaintance. It's like those legendary plastic sisters. Ka felt something was wrong, so she went alone to find Maria at the restaurant where she eats. She happened to catch another scene of the elderly. A mere commoner actually possesses rare light magic. And her grades are so good. "You must be a demon reborn. Come on, let me purify you with fire." Seeing Maria in danger, little Ka decisively stepped in. Little Ka quickly ran over, overcoming those noble women. She stood in front of Maria. Once again, she used his villainous face to scare those noble women away. Finally, Maria has been comforted. Ka and Maria's friendship has grown closer. To protect Maria from being bullied, Ka decides to keep Maria all to herself. Keep her close. That night, while lying in bed, Ka suddenly realized that she might have taken over her brother Keith's storyline again. In the game, it was little Ka leading the group to bully Maria. In a moment of crisis, Keith appeared. He conjured up a native and protected Maria behind him. To comfort the frightened Maria, Keith awkwardly hugged her. "I also want a hug." That's it. When Ka asked Maria who she liked, Maria answered. Although Ka was happy to be liked by everyone, Maria's girlish heart was uncertain. Her fate of exile was still possible. A rare holiday, Ka picked up her beloved little hoe, planning to go to the countryside to expand their vegetable growing skills. That way, even if exiled, they can survive by farming on their own. Facing her unpredictable sister, Keith has no strength left to complain. He can only set off with Ka. This is their first time visiting the countryside's large fields. They've learned quite a bit here. They even saw a pumpkin so big, it took 10 people to lift it. On the way back, they happened to pass by Maria's hometown. Ka immediately suggested they visit her. Maria, possessing the magic of light, was a celebrity in town. It was easy to find out her address. The two girls spoke of Maria with sarcasm and spite, hinting that she awakened her magic because she was the illegitimate child of a noble. But they spoke subtly. The confused Ka, who only knows how to throw straight balls. Keith, who has seen the darkness of human nature, completely understands. They finally find Maria's house. Ka is puzzled by the fact that her fields are abandoned. This is rare in rural areas. The door is opened by Maria's mother, Lisa. She heard that they are Maria's friends. A look of surprise flashes across Lisa's beautiful and melancholic face. Maria was pleasantly surprised by the visit from the two of them. As soon as Ka saw her, her stomach instinctively growled. Maria smiled and said she would prepare some snacks for them. In return, Ka offered to help with clearing the land. She said it was one of her unique hobbies. And so it was. Ka and Keith are working hard in the field. Maria is happily preparing snacks at home. When she was young, she often made cookies with her parents. At that time, they were a happy family of 3. Laughter echoed throughout the house. But one day, wanting so much to help a friend who was injured, Maria accidentally awakened the power of light magic. Her peaceful life was completely shattered. In this world, only nobles can usually awaken magical powers. Maria, who possesses the power of light, was thus considered an illegitimate child of nobility. Maria's father believed the rumors and abandoned them. The naive Maria worked hard to study. She diligently does the housework. She wants to prove her innocence from the magic accusations, but the dirty water thrown at her out of jealousy and greed won't spare her just because she's a good child. Seeing her classmates happily eating snacks, little Maria thought she had found a way to make friends. She went home and seriously started making cookies. She failed many times. Finally, she made complete and delicious cookies, but when she brought out her carefully prepared treats, her classmates silently walked away. She, with her magical abilities, became an outcast in the town. She became the target of envy and ridicule, but she would no longer have friends. After that, Maria never baked treats again, and her mother, Lisa, clearly knew everything, yet ignored her daughter like everyone else. The pain of her husband's departure completely drowned her. She was powerless to face life. But now, seeing her daughter smile again, a strong sense of guilt flooded Lisa's heart. She took out her treasured tools. She made desserts with her daughter after a long time. At the same time, Ka planted the vibrant seedlings in Maria's field. After several years, the little house was once again filled with joyful laughter. It was getting late. They said goodbye to Maria and her mother. Ka suddenly wanted to go home and see her mother. Little Car in the garden, quietly chatting with the mysterious old man. Grandpa handed her a secret weapon. This is the magic weapon to defeat the third prince who was afraid of snakes. Just when Ka was practicing throwing snakes at Jordo, Jordo was planning to be alone with Ka. The two of them made an appointment to go to the lake to enjoy the cool air together. Jordo must not have thought of it. The seemingly intimate fiancé next to him also had a fake snake in his pocket to use against him. Seeing that the third prince is about to successfully steal the tower, Lightbulb Keith arrived just in time. To get rid of this guy, the third prince specially arranged a banquet for him. Unexpectedly, Stone Monkey Little Ka didn't notice their good intentions at all. She suggests you just call everyone here. And so it was. By the beautiful, crystal clear lake, Jordo's carefully chosen spot for a romantic date. Suddenly, a bunch of unexpected guests showed up. Poor Jordo was on the verge of tears. Looking at the small boat nearby, Jordo keeps fighting despite repeated defeats. He invites Ka to row together. Keith says, "Sister, I'll join you." Then Mary says, "Let's all do it together." Sophia and Maria also refuse to back down. While they argue endlessly, Ka and Alan, who is still being tricked by Mary and hasn't found the racecourse, have already arranged a rowing competition. In the end, they could only be grouped by lottery. Poor third prince still couldn't be with Ka. Shao Kai is in the garden, secretly meeting with the mysterious old grandfather. The old grandfather hands her a secret weapon. This is the winning treasure to deal with the third prince who is afraid of snakes. Just as Shao Kai is diligently practicing throwing snakes at Xiao Ao, Xiao Ao is plotting to spend time alone with Shao Ka. They agreed to go to the lakeside to enjoy the cool breeze together. Xiao Ao certainly wouldn't expect. His seemingly close fiancée has a fake snake in her pocket, meant for him. The third prince is about to succeed in his scheme. The third wheel, Gi's, arrives just in time. To get rid of him, the third prince specially arranged a banquet for him. Unexpectedly, Shao Ka, the little stone monkey, completely missed their good intentions. He suggested simply inviting everyone. That's it. By the beautiful, azure lake, Xiao Ao's carefully chosen date spot, suddenly, a bunch of uninvited guests appeared. Poor Xiao Ao almost cried. Seeing the small boat nearby, Xiao Ao, undeterred, invited Shao Ka to go boating together. Gi said, "Sister, I'll go with you." Millie said, "Together, together." Sophia and Maria weren't to be outdone. While they were arguing incessantly, Shao Ka and Alan, who had been misled by Melly and still hadn't found the course, had already agreed on a rowing race. Finally, they could only divide into groups by drawing lots. The poor third prince still couldn't be with Shao Ka. Their dream of being alone together is shattered. Meanwhile, Alan, rowing a boat for the first time, tries his best, but he's no match for the little water sprite, Kaka. Returning from the lake, everyone happily enjoys snacks. Sophia hints to Kaka that her brother, Nickel, is also smiling happily. Amidst laughter, Shao Ka's snacks were stolen by a huge, ghostly goose. Leaving behind all the handsome men and beautiful women, Xiaoka chased after the goose. Snacks are truly the only love, it seems. A few days later, Xiaoka and Sophia went out to buy books. The icy handsome guy, Nickel, silently followed as usual. So, he used the excuse of protecting his sister to follow her for 7 years. The dull boy really went to a lot of trouble after picking out a book. In the bookstore, a love story about an ancient tyrant falling for a prince from an enemy country. Sophia made an excuse to leave, to create an opportunity for her brother. Nickel, usually so silent and taciturn, finally couldn't bear to just silently watch anymore. Xiaoka begins a heartfelt confession. A rare summer vacation. Xiaoka, who has transmigrated into a vicious female supporting character, is resting in the shade of a tree with her younger brother, Ji-Eyes. Watching his older sister gradually fall asleep, Ji-Eyes suddenly remembers how they used to nap under a tree like this when they were younger. Back then, he had just been adopted by the Duke and Duchess. The nightmare of being bullied by his half-brother in the past relentlessly pursued him, preventing him from sleeping peacefully at night. Just as he was lost in the nightmare, unable to extricate himself, a caring voice woke him from his nightmare. Jis. At that moment, little Ka was like a ray of light, illuminating his dark life. I heard he had a nightmare. Xiaoka held his hand and comforted him. Since then, Ji-Eyes has never had a nightmare again. Looking at his sleeping sister, Ji-Eyes reached out and gently stroked her cheek, slowly leaning down. At the same time, another girl with white hair and red eyes also dreamed of her and Xiaoka's shared past. In her past life, Sophia was addicted to novels and games. 3 months into the school year, she hadn't made a single friend. Heaven, seeing her plight, sent her down a gift from above. Poor Xiaoya was nearly killed by this stroke of good fortune. I almost lost half my life, nearly shaken to death by them. I saw this girl start to cry for me. I'm sorry. Xia quickly explained that she was fine. This girl who fell from the sky is the Monkey King, Xiaoka. She just slipped and fell from the tree a moment ago. From then on, the solitary Xia finally had her first friend. 2 people read and play together. Life became vibrant. Silly Xiaoka didn't want to read. Xiaoya supervised him with a big stick nearby. Lured by games, Xiaoka finally worked hard. He and Xiaoya got into the same high school. On their way home from school, they happily discussed the game content, finally waving goodbye. But Xiaoya never expected that this would be their last meeting. The next day, Xiaoka, due to lack of sleep from playing games all night, had a car accident on her way to school. Xiaoya's only friend since childhood was gone just like that. On the way back, she took out her phone and checked the last message Xiaoka sent her. It was still about the Dark Prince in that Otome game. At that moment, Xiaoya didn't know that in a far more lonely otherworld, this girl had descended from the heavens in another way, crashing back into her life. That day, Xiaoka was suddenly surrounded by a group of noble ladies. She claimed she would expose her crimes. Xiaoka was stunned by the accusation. Could it be that her stealing snacks from the kitchen was discovered? Or was she reported for planting vegetables at school? The leading noble girl angrily accused Xiaoka of abusing her power to bully Maria, a commoner. The familiar lines reminded Xiaoka this was a judgment event in the game. In the original work, the vicious female supporting character, Katerina, was exposed by her classmates and ultimately met her downfall or exile. But this time, little Katerina hasn't bullied Maria at all. What's going on? Seriously? Could these noble ladies have also awakened their past life memories? Are they settling old scores from their past lives? Little Katerina was dumbfounded. Just as everyone was buzzing with gossip, the third prince arrived with the main characters just in time. The noble ladies presented evidence of Xiaoka bullying Maria. Everyone read the documents carefully. Xiaoka's heart sank. The derailed plot was abruptly pulled back on track. Next should be Maria testifying against her misdeeds. Katerina was exiled abroad. Seeing Maria's lack of cooperation, the noble ladies grew impatient. Her younger brother, Ji-Eyes, pointed out the problem directly. The plan in the documents is too complex. It's simply not something her sister, a simpleton, could have devised. Neely and the fourth prince, Alan, also chimed in. Surely you don't really think that someone with Xiaoka's intellect could have come up with such a meticulous plan? Although it's been fixed, Xiaoka still feels a little hurt. Maria stepped forward, saying Xiaoka has never bullied me, but I still remember those who bullied me. The guilty noblewomen fled in a panic. In their retreating figures, rising black smoke caught Maria's attention. The crisis passed just like that. The main characters breathed a sigh of relief, but also sensed something was amiss. Xiao Ka is a duke's daughter after all. How dare those people slander her so brazenly? And they all happened to be summoned to the student council when it happened. The timing was too precise, while everyone else looked grave. Xiao Ka, the foodie, happily ate heartily, celebrating her escape from another crisis. That's why she disappears. That night, Ka had a terrible nightmare. All other people are dead, and she is the only one who survives. Little Ka, who can smile even in the face of ruined fate, shed her tears for the first time. She would rather face disillusionment herself. She doesn't want her friends to encounter any danger. The next day, Ka was sitting alone on the campus bench thinking about Maria. Here, she met the handsome and gentle student council president Dick again. Looking at the other's red hair and gray eyes, Ka suddenly remembered. Her best friend in her previous life once told her, there is also a hidden character in this game. He is the final boss with dark magic power. If the strategy fails, it will usher in the end of destruction with everyone dying. And the appearance of this hidden character. He has the same red hair and gray eyes as the president. The president who was exposed suddenly stopped pretending, frankly admitting that he is indeed the mastermind behind the scenes. He was also the one who kidnapped Maria. Maria, who possesses the magic power of light, senses his conspiracy, and his dark magic cannot control Maria. In the end, he had to use a special potion to knock her out. Facing the president who suddenly became arrogant, Ka did not escape. Instead, she put her hands on his face. No matter what the other person says, she always trusts her instincts. The president should be a very gentle person at heart. The young man with red hair and gray eyes slapped her hand away angrily. The rising black mist slowly submerged little Ka. The last thing that appeared in front of her is the tearful face of the president. Xiao Ka, surrounded by dark magic, gradually lost consciousness. Her last scene. It's the president's tearful face. Ka woke up again and returned to his previous life, completely forgotten the experience of the game world. She is talking about games with her bestie at noon. Ka happily said that she was conquering the fourth Prince Alan. Although he has an awkward and tsundere character, but after really getting along with each other, surprisingly, he is a gentle person. They really get along with each other. How could I say such a thing? Little Ka suspected that she had fallen asleep. The days go by like this. Ka is like an ordinary high school student, enjoying the company of family and friends. She doesn't know why. She always felt like something was missing. It seems like something important has been forgotten. And at the other world on the other side, little Ka has been in a coma for 2 days. Even the best doctors are helpless. If she still can't wake up, then she will weaken and die in a coma. This news made the protagonist group so sad. The so-called strategy game. It is also a salvation for everyone. They recalled the time when they met and accompanied little Ka. It feels like a dream. And now they wake up from the dream, just when everyone is immersed in sorrow. The third prince came to Ka. He leaned over and gently pressed for a kiss. He wants to wake up his sleeping beauty, but it's of no use. It's up to Sophia to tell this. The pain of losing little Ka. Let her resonate with the soul of her previous life. It turns out that Sophia is the reincarnation of Ka's best friend. She has already lost Ka once. This time she has to summon her back no matter what. At this time, everyone stays with Ka. They use Sophia as a medium. Let's wake up little Ka's memory together. The little Ka on the other side. Suddenly she felt a little embarrassed. The best friend in front of her seems to gradually overlap with Sophia in the game. Best friend Sophia reluctantly told Ka, "You no longer belong to this world. Listen, your friends from that world are waiting for you to go back." In the call of her friends, little Ka recovered his memory. She became Katerina again. The dream world collapsed inch by inch as her memory awakened. Only then did Ka remember that she hadn't asked Sophia for a guide yet. She quickly asked her where Maria is being held. Sophia told her that Maria was in the basement of the academy warehouse. She wanted to continue asking about the president, but her feet are empty. She and Sophia will eventually be separated. At the last moment, Sophia only had time to tell her the real name of the president. Then little Ka woke up. Looking at the concerned friends, Ka told them, "I already know where Maria is." Everyone has a question mark on their face. Ka can only explain. That's all. After that, Ka took everyone to the secret room under the warehouse. They rescued Maria, who was imprisoned here. They also found another room. The president, who was being eroded by darkness. He seems to have two personalities. One of them is kind-hearted. He doesn't want to hurt Ka and her friends. And the other one is filled with hatred that want to kill everyone. Seeing that the president's status is not right, the third prince and the fourth prince drew their swords and were on guard. Ka went up head-on. Because she knows. The big devil in the Otome game cannot be defeated. It can only be conquered. And no matter how fierce the president looks, she even believed that the other party didn't really want to hurt her. After all, if he really want to kill her, he rather than letting her sleep and die, it's better to use weapons more efficiently. Compared to these, Ka was more concerned about her before she fell into coma. Why does the president cry? The president waved his sword to stop their approach, and the black mist behind him became even bigger. The third prince asked him how he got the dark magic power. Unexpectedly, the president laughed. "I'm not serious at all. The so-called Sirius is dead long ago. Sirius, the student council president, is the only son of Marquis Dick. Beneath the handsome and gentle appearance, he has the kindness of a puppy. But what others don't know is, under such a gentle smile, but it hides an extremely tragic past. Although he is only the illegitimate son of the Marquis, he lives in poverty. But as long as mother and son are together, even if they live in poverty, they still very happy. But this happiness was completely broken one day. Their father's first wife kidnapped them. She planned to use him to save the life of his seriously ill son. The woman betrayed by her husband has gone crazy. She dare not blame her philandering husband, but he vented all his resentment on the maid who couldn't help but with each other's young children. She heard that dark magic can control people's hearts and even transfer soul. She hired a black mage who knew the secret technique. She wanted to transfer the soul of her seriously ill son to the young president. This way his son can have a new life with a healthy body. And the president's poor mother. She was used as a sacrifice to obtain dark magic. She was brutally murdered by a black mage. The black mage used the secret technique of soul replacement on the two children. Unfamiliar memories surged into the president's mind. After the secret technique is successful, the black mage was also killed and silenced. After all, black magic is forbidden in the kingdom. Naturally, it is impossible for the Marquise to leave any clues. Before dying, the black mage cursed angrily. Even if she says that she is a ghost, she will not let her go. But what the Marquise didn't know was that his son Sirius couldn't stand his crazy mother for a long time. He just wanted to die quickly. So although the president inherited Sirius's memory, but he retained his soul. After that, the president who originally possessed the power of wind, and strangely possessed dark magic power, he lives only for revenge. After meeting Little Ka, he was infected by the warm and joyful atmosphere of the protagonist group. While the president yearns for it, he is also jealous. The dark heart of revenge begins to waver. Deep in his heart, that desperate child also longs to be redeemed. Seeing that the president is about to be swallowed by darkness, Ka walked into the depths of the black mist without hesitation. She is Katerina who insists on being kind to others even though she will be ruined. She has a heart as warm and bright as the sun. "I can't save you," Ka said to the president, "but I can stay with you. Listen to your pain and sadness. Give you the courage to come out of the quagmire." Familiar memories flashed through the president's mind. After so many years, the real name was called out again. The sealed memory appears in its original form for the first time, Raphael. It turns out that his mother's last wish was not for him to seek revenge, but she hoped he can live a happy life. Just when the president wanted to hold Ka's warm hand, the power of darkness suddenly overwhelmed him. It turns out that the evil personality inside the president is not himself, but the black mage who killed his mother in the first place. He distorted the president's memory, take advantage of his desire for revenge. He want to turn him into his own shameless puppet. The president who can recover his memory will no longer be at his mercy. Seeing that the president is about to be swallowed up by darkness, Little Ka suddenly held his hand. She used the heroine's domineering spirit to give him the power to fight the darkness. With the complete annihilation of the black mage, the president also returned to his original temperament. After this, the Marchioness received the justice she deserved. The president also confessed his crimes and left school. Although the hidden line was successfully cleared, but Ka's crisis of destruction has not been resolved yet. Second grade promotion ceremony. This is the final plot where Maria confesses herself, the person she confessed to and the result. It will also affect the fate of Little Ka. Ka prepared for the worst. She brings realistic toy snake to take with her. My beloved Little Ho and emergency kit are also ready. At the upgrade ceremony, the third prince and Alan played beautiful music together. Ka feels something is wrong. This is a plot that is not in the game. And Maria on the side. There was no sign of sneaking out and confessing. Seeing that the party is about to end, the story hasn't started yet. Ka couldn't help but walk over. She asked Maria who she has fallen in love with. Maria replied instantly she was sued twice by the cute girl Ka. Ka was happy but also had a little headache. She doesn't count. I'm asking which boy do you like? Finally avoided the fate of destruction. But Ka didn't have time to breathe a sigh of relief. She was kidnapped again on her way home. Ka woke up and found herself in a strange room. The second prince's fiancée Selena looks apologetic. She said she needed to stay here for a while. Ka thought the other party wanted ransom. Thinking about how much your mother dislikes you. Feeling that I might be abandoned. Just when she was trying to bargain with the kidnappers, Selena said she was not kidnapped for ransom. Ka is feeling weird. No ransom, so what do you want? Selena was about to explain. Then the housekeeper next to her suddenly looked into her eyes. Selena's eyes turned purple. She obediently left the room. Only Ka and the maid Lana were left with a confused look on their faces. In order to calm down her hurt feelings, Ka ordered a large table of snacks. She is eating happily. Lana handed over another romance novel. This little day. It's perfect. At the same time, Ka's fiancé, the third prince, received a letter from the kidnapper. It says if he wants to save Katerina, he has to completely give up the right to inherit the throne. There are 4 princes in this country: the gracious and elegant eldest Prince Geoffrey, the cold second Prince Ian, and the twin third Prince Jordo, and the 4th Prince Alan. Except for the slow and arrogant Alan, the other 3 are all heirs to the throne. Once the right of inheritance is given up, he completely withdrew from the succession struggle. For his beloved fiancée, the third prince is willing to give up his right to inherit the throne, but that will take a while. Everyone is worried. Will Ka be harmed during this period? But what they don't know is, Ka immersed in novels. She had long forgotten about the kidnapping. She also need reminder from the maid Lana. Only then did she suddenly remember what happened to her. In the evening, Selena, who kidnapped Ka, looked sad. She feel too guilty to eat. The heartless Ka is jumping for joy. She is enjoying a delicious meal. Selena thought she was pretending to be calm. She about to tell the truth about kidnapping Ka, but was stopped by the handsome housekeeper. Her eyes turned purple again, and she left suddenly. At night, Ka, who was sleeping soundly, was suddenly woken up. It turned out that Selena was worried that she wouldn't be able to sleep well. She still decided to tell her the truth about the kidnapping. Selena is the child bride of the second Prince Ino. The purpose of kidnapping Xiaoka was to get the third prince to withdraw from the competition for the throne. In this way, the second prince only has the eldest prince as his opponent. She won't hurt Ka. She just wants to sacrifice herself, doing something for the second prince who doesn't know about it. Selena and the second prince have been engaged in a political marriage since childhood. At their first meeting, she fell deeply in love with the second prince. After their engagement, Selena often pesters the second prince to go on dates with her. They drink tea and enjoy flowers, read books together. Compared to the delighted Selena, the second prince's attitude is always cold and indifferent. This makes the clumsy Selena feel even more inferior. So many years passed. Not only does she have low magic power, her results are also very poor. Gradually, even her parents and relatives felt that she was not worthy of the excellent second prince. They planning to marry her to someone else. This situation, it seems to be quite similar to Ka's situation. Mom also hopes she can cancel the engagement. She can't bear to let her daughter take advantage of the third prince's talent. So Ka feels that she still has a say. How could Selena ask this? But the other party's attitude was cold. Others also said that the second prince had long since abandoned her. But Ka doesn't think so. Ka, who ate 99 pieces of ruthless cake, her life's soul is clear. Neither inferiority complex nor jealousy. She can accept her own ordinariness. She can also see Selena's clumsy appearance, but she has a gentle and kind heart. That's all. Selena finally was conquered by Ka. After waking up, Selena decided to talk to the second prince. Before that, they need to end this kidnapping farce first. Although Ka offered to cover up for her, Selena disagrees. She is ready to bear the consequences, but she just opened the door. It turns out that the mastermind behind the scenes is Selena's housekeeper, and his purpose is to frame everything on Selena. He wants the second prince and the third prince be eliminated at the same time. In this way, the eldest prince will be the final winner. A long time later, Selena and Ka were finally rescued. The first thing Selena saw when she opened her eyes was the second Prince Enoch. There was undisguised concern on the other person's face. Selena wants to apologize. The second prince hugged her directly into his arms. He was scared and said luckily she was okay. Selena thought of Ka's words. She asked the second prince if he hates herself. What are you talking about? How can I hate you? The little girl started to settle old scores. You don't even take the initiative to see me. Every time we meet, you always looks cold. The second prince's face turned red. He feel a little guilty. It turns out that every time Ino meets Selena, he wants to kiss her, hug her, and hold her tight. But because they are not married yet, he can only pretend to be restrained. That's why he don't dare to get too close to her. Ino apologizes to Selena. He directly expressed his feelings. This is probably the strangest kidnapper and prisoner. The handsome kidnapper leaned over his woman. The housekeeper felt like he had tied up an ancestor early in the morning. He whispered softly to wake up the prisoner who were sleeping peacefully. Ka finally got up. She standing on the bed and seriously condemning his abominable act of kidnapping. After answering her question, the housekeeper extended his hand thoughtfully. He helped the lady standing on the bed to get off the ground smoothly. In order to prevent the other party from being upset, he left a rich breakfast and a bell to call him. He just left gracefully, but he never expected. Not only did Ka not panic, she also admired his cooking skills. She finished the food quickly. Then she rang the bell. Hope he can add a little more. This is indeed a kidnapping of an ancestor. The housekeeper can only serve patiently. Although he obeys the orders of his current master, they plan to use the kidnapping of Ka to eliminate the eldest prince's rivals for the throne. He only can serve as a noble servant who has no choice. Like the prisoner Ka, he has no extra choice. The housekeeper had no father or mother when he was young. It's natural to live by robbery and theft. Until one day, a man who is out of tune with the slums breaks into his world. The man taught him arithmetic and reading. He also tell him about things outside. Although life is hard, the two of them still lived happily. The orphaned housekeeper has no name, so the man named him Sora. It means blue sky, because his eyes are as beautiful as the blue sky. The man's presence made Sora feel the warmth of a relative for the first time. He really likes the time when the two of them are together. But the good times don't last long. The delicate bodies of nobles cannot adapt to life in the slums. Tayman fell ill. Sora raised money everywhere to hire doctors, but they were helpless. Seeing the other party declining little by little, Sora decides to take risks. On a rainy night, he go to the local noble's house to steal medicine. But at such a young age, he couldn't escape from the heavily guarded castle. He was pinned to the ground by guards. No matter how much he begs, it is no longer possible for medicines not far away to be delivered to the men. After this, Sora was sold as a slave. He was tossing and turning several times to countries where small cards are sold. He become a servant of his current master. He has no chance to see that man again. He can't even close his account. But even so, optimistic Sora is not depressed. Living a good life with enough food, clothing, warmth, and good health, Sora sincerely thanked the god of destiny for his blessing. This optimistic and grateful attitude towards life unexpectedly got along with Ka, who was always full of vitality in the face of ruined destiny. Whether it's the precarious refugees in the slums, or a pampered noble lady, human beings always toss and turn for things they can't get, but you can't learn to cherish the treasures you already have. The attraction from the soul made Sola press Ka on the bed. He took off his glasses and leaned closer. He planted a gentle kiss on her neck. At the critical moment, Ka's friends pushed open the door and entered. It turns out that the maid Lana is a high-ranking official in the Ministry of Magic in disguise. She has been responsible for personal protection of little Ka. The identity of the master behind Sora is revealed. He was also taken away and tried by people from the Ministry of Magic. The kidnapping is over. The discovery of the strangeness of the third prince. His fiancée not only looks smooth and shiny, there is also a small hickey on her neck. The third prince was so shocked that he no longer wanted to endure it. He attacked her decisively. Do you think he can achieve positive results? Because of thinking too much, the stone monkey fiancée woke up. She treated the kiss as a sexual dream. How did the handsome and intelligent prince fall into the hands of this stone monkey? Let's talk about it since they were young. The third prince Jordo and the fourth prince Alan are twins. Alan has been frail and sickly since he was born. Their mother spends all her energy taking care of Alan. Jordo, who she has no time to take care of his health and well-being, even if it's the birthday that he has finally been looking forward to, also got cancelled because of Alan's sudden illness, and he lost the chance to see his mother. After finished all the homework, Jordo happily accepted the maid's compliment. He asked them involuntarily to rub his head, but the maid replied, "How can a lowly maid touch the prince casually?" After repeated disappointments, the little third prince realized, wanting to be loved by his mother, it can only bring him endless loneliness and sadness. If he no longer expect, he won't be hurt. After realizing this, Jordo's world is gradually fading. Everything becomes insignificant. He won't be sad, but it also cuts off the possibility of happiness. Jordo grew up like this without sadness or joy. Then after an unexpected fall, he entered into a marriage contract with Ka, who had an injured forehead. The third prince at that time, he only uses Ka as a shield to deal with other noble ladies. But he doesn't know when it did start. The fiancée who should have been dealt with casually, Jordo couldn't help but look for her every day. The little girl holds his hand. She unreasonably brought him out of the dead world of darkness, facing the sky with brilliant rainbow. Later, Alan came to Ka for a duel every day, through the bridge of Ka. Jordo and Yalan also gradually have an intersection, twin brothers with a delicate relationship. Finally they can talk freely. But this stupid brother, when he grew up, he saw that he kissed Chao Ka. My brother lost a lot of jobs because of Mary. He is showing a desperate expression. Jordo finally finished all the work. Finally he found Ka, who was alone. Seeing her blushing fiancé, she thought the kiss was a dream. Jordo quits. You've never seen such a doting brother-in-law. The walls are covered with portraits of his brothers. They are four princes with the same father and mother. From their childhood, twins Jordo and Yalan were just born. The eldest brother, Jeffrey, was lying next to him with a face full of excitement. His fingers carefully touched his brother's fleshy claws. He was immediately grabbed tightly. At that time, Jeffrey promised his mother, he will definitely take good care of his brothers in the future. But when he was young, he didn't expect. With the death of Grandpa, and after their father's succession, their brothers were also fighting for the right to inherit the throne, and have to growing up apart from each other. When he is able to control his power, Then he can get close to his brother. Jordo, one of the twins, has been neglected by his mother. He grows into a perfect puppet. No matter how passionate the care is, it can't be conveyed into his closed heart either. No matter how cold Jordo is, Jeffrey always smiles and says, "Got it. I'll come next time." On the other side, his mother is with him wholeheartedly, but Alan has been struggling on the line of life and death. Until 5 years old, he could be strong enough to walk out of the room. He had to receive an orthodox princely education. Although he is also smart, but he is not as good as his twin brother Jordo in everything. He is being laughed at by others as the garbage left by Jordo. Such a malicious comparison. Let little Alan fall into a deep inferiority complex, and the brother he tried so hard to surpass. The look in his eyes was completely indifferent. Nothing beats his joy. There is no affection for his brother either. Alan was hurt by this indifferent attitude. He has been deliberately avoiding Jordo. When Alan's eldest brother appears, his attitude is terrible, no matter how awkward he is. The eldest brother always openly expresses his concern for his younger brother. He come to him again and again. Later, he met Ka by chance. Here he saw another side of the perfect brother. Jordo also has something to be afraid of. She always says some strange things to him. Jordo who will be afraid and jealous. He has no more that godlike sense of oppression. Round at the corner, what he saw was his peeping brother. He was overjoyed that the relationship between his brothers had improved. As for the equally awkward second prince Eno, Jeffrey's choice was to give him a big hug. There are different forces behind every prince. These people want to tear their brothers apart for their own benefit, but as the eldest brother, Jeffrey always remember the promise he made to protect his brothers. He cares without reservation. He glued the three mouthless brothers together bit by bit. He want the castle become a warm home again. In a dark room in the ancient Ministry of Magic, there is a mysterious dollhouse. In this dollhouse, everyone can live the life he wants. Ka opened the door with a weak hand. After a while of light, everyone nearby was sucked into the house. When the president and others arrived, they have already lived their dream life in the magic house. Music-loving Alan wants to be a bird. He stop on Xiao Ka's shoulder and kiss her tenderly. And the other side, Nick, the son of the prime minister with magical charm. He want to become an elegant black cat. Being adopted by his beloved Ka, he is snoring slightly under her caress. Then look at her affectionately. This magical smile. Even if he become a cat, Ka can't stand it either. And Sophia, who is obsessed with the world of stories, she want to become the mysterious elf in the book. She forged a lifelong friendship with Xiao Ka. Let's run and laugh together in the world of fairy tales. And Ka's fiancé, the third prince, he hopes to get rid of the shackles of royal identity and become a handsome rescued Ka who was bullied. Then with the girl he loves most, together they travel the world freely and do something romantic by the way. Everyone's world has a little Ka in their imagination. The real Ka is just like a little cat. She just want to sleep comfortably on the 2-meter big bed, eating potato chips and reading novels, living a life with no one to remind you to update. But people who are addicted to dreams don't know. This dollhouse is actually a dark magic object. It will devour those who are lost in it. Just let the doll inside fall asleep. Only then can we save everyone. To wake up everyone who is addicted to sweet dreams. The president and the maid also entered the magic house. They split up to look for the person lost in the dream. The maid opened a door. She has shocking discovery. In order to make more delicious snacks for little Ka, the innocent and beautiful Maria turned into a terrifying muscular woman. For her own safety, the maid closed the door reluctantly. And in the other door, Mary, who has always wanted to elope with Shoka, becomes a king. He held his head high and passed by Jordo, who was lying on the ground, and hugged Ka into his own arms. I always feel like this guy can't be woken up. The maid quietly closed the door again. The magic is, little Ka don't know if it's because the novels and potato chips are no longer tasty. She turned out to be the one who woke up first. She opened the door and walked to the living room, just in time to see the maid who came to see her. After understanding the situation, the two planned to go to the president first, but what they didn't expect was that, corrupted by hatred and dark magic for many years, there is no compromising president. His willpower was actually worn down by the endless overtime work at the Ministry of Magic. He lost in the dream of being able to work 9 to 5, even if you tell him the truth. He doesn't want to leave here either, but Ka felt that this couldn't be done. The vegetables that we worked so hard to grow have not yet been harvested. I didn't eat the snacks I hid either. The real world may not be perfect, but the sweet and bitter smoke of fireworks still fascinated her. The most important thing is, if the president gets lost here, other colleagues have more work to do. The strong sense of responsibility finally made the president wake up. This moment, the devil in the dollhouse. The dolls make their debut. Since sweet dreams cannot destroy you, then hit S with the book. At the critical moment, the president used wind magic to block the attack of the doll, and Ka sneaked behind the doll. She removed her clockwork key. The doll that lost its clockwork fell into a deep sleep. Everyone finally woke up from the magic house. facing that person who obviously changed her mind. But he insisted on blaming all the mistakes on his own crown prince, Theodoric. Irene plans to cut losses in time. She get rid of this scumbag decently. Under everyone's gaze, proud Erin left the dance with her head held high. The content of the game gradually revived in her memory. In this world where saints and demons coexist, Lillian, the heroine who is the holy sword girl, shouldering the important task of defeating the devil, and Erin, the villainous lady, will be miserable after the devil awakens. To avoid a fate of ruin, she has to prevent the demon king from awakening. Irene decided to take possession of the beautiful devil as her own. The girl who just did what she said came to the devil world alone, but the way was blocked by a flock of crows. The news that Irene's engagement was annulled has spread to the devil world. Even the crows in the demon world dislike her. After Irene's national scolding, the crow was speechless. They could only let her pass in silence. Finally arrived at the devil's palace, Erin, who has the blood of the holy sword girl, but she can't even open the door. There's someone in the back who wants to help. Eileen was not happy in time. She just saw. The frightened young lady looked back. The person behind is actually the devil, but he is a handsome man with flying black hair, a pair of bright red eyes as beautiful as gems. Erin's face turned red when she saw him. This paper man looks better than in the game. The devil asked her what she came for. Erin seriously said that she wanted to make a deal with the devil. In a coma, Irene thought of her past. As the youngest daughter of the Duke's family, she has been loved by his family since she was a child, but because the three brothers are too good, Irene always feels that she is dispensable. Until the age of 8, Prince Cedric proposed to her. Irene was very happy to be expected for the first time. She regarded being a good princess as her dream. Irene is determined to move forward courageously for her dream, but because she is too serious and rigid. It was actually said by others that she was taking advantage of the crown prince's power to lord it over others. Everyone around her has distanced her away. Being half asleep and half awake, Irene heard the conversation between the Demon King and his subordinates. The Demon King was so shocked by the sudden proposal just now. Unable to control the magic power, she lightning fell. The Demon King suspected that Irene was under the instruction of someone, deliberately trying to lurk next to him. Demon Lord Claude is the half-brother of Crown Prince Cedric. Later, he was deprived of the right to inherit the throne because of his status as a monster. Then he was banished to an abandoned castle. If his hatred for humans awakens in the game, it will turn into a dragon and destroy the world. For this beautiful world, Irene decided to propose him. The girl's enthusiasm made the devil blush with embarrassment. Ask her if she likes himself. Seeing the devil getting angry, Irene took out a bunch of BS and planned to force marriage with WL. The devil's eyes are cold. You were just divorced by my brother. He was planning to come and train me. Mention of training. Only then did Irene realize that she was dressed like a wolf because of the long journey. She decided to dress up nicely before proposing. The devil didn't have the patience to wait for her to freshen up. He helped Irene transformed beautifully with just one magic spell. The girl with a new look tilted her head and smiled. She actually looked the devil straight in the eyes. The flowers nearby were affected and suddenly bloomed. The devil became angry. He put his hand on her forehead and used a teleportation magic. He sent Irene directly back to her bedroom. As the Prime Minister, her father looked downcast. Hand her an invitation letter from the Crown Prince and the heroine. The dog couple will hold an engagement ceremony in 2 months. He also wanted to officially break off the engagement with her on the spot. This is to dump her again in public. Erin is not someone to be bullied either. No more Crown Prince. She plans to bring the devil with her. The reincarnated girl successfully avoided the ending of destruction. Welcome to the sequel of the game. Finally, I don't have to worry anymore. I can enjoy my life from now on. The girl holding a meeting in her head. It turns out that she looks like a fool in the eyes of others. The school festival held every 2 years is about to begin. She also fantasizes about okonomiyaki and octopus balls. Please think about it with your monkey brain. How is it possible? Please. If the noise continues like this, she has to finish the snacks again. Little Ka wants to sell the vegetables she grows. This is an aristocratic academy. It's a shame if you are allowed to sell it. Maria, who doted on her, said that she made vegetables into snacks. This way you can sell it. The outstanding third prince deserves to be the student council president. If you want to set up a stall at the school festival, you need permission from the president. She directly forced the third prince and had no choice but to nod. After all, it's better than selling vegetables. She was overly happy and returned to her mood again. The passers-by were stunned. She has nothing aristocratic at all. At this time, Xiaohei stared at her. It is worthy of being an aristocratic academy. Even the stalls are very high-end. The girl who saw this picture lost her highlights. This is completely different from what she thought. Her 3 little fans saw her depressed. The action of being fed really looks like a monkey. The girl cheered up and went to see her brother and Mary. The writing brother is actually my mother's Keith. He tell her not to eat too much. Then do you want to eat half? Mary continues to output. She also kept making up for the damage. Frightened, Keith quickly moved out the third prince to use as a shield. With only snacks in her heart, she opened her mind again. She thought her brother was in love with Mary. She is the fiancée of the fourth prince. She also said that he would agree to their relationship. Sophia strikes out. She used the excuse that my brother wants to perform a drama in the student record. She let two people practice. Nick's charm is too strong. He let her say the wrong line directly. Even when playing games, she never skip a conversation. This monkey doesn't know what happened just now. The girl who just escaped from Sophia to find Maria. Unexpectedly, the president in disguise was also there. You are so good at changing. Then I'd better call you president. Maria originally planned to go home after graduation, but then she can't stick with a girl. So she also planned to work in the Ministry of Magic. The president was surprised that Maria's motivation for working was not pure, but it's understandable. But the girl may marry the third prince after graduation. Why don't we all go to work at the Ministry of Magic together? There is no need to get married so soon, although it is only a small mound. But you can do odd jobs. Maria seemed to see heaven. In fact, this is all the president's plan. Rarely such a happy day. She need to buy some souvenirs. She immediately fell in love with this color-changing stone. Remember this stone. She finally came to meet the third prince. Fortunately, there were 3 little fans who came with her. The little fans were so scared that they ran away. They even brought them condolences. The third prince recognized it immediately as Maria's snack. This made the girl start to think strangely again. I thought the third prince was finally interested in Maria. Maria is so great after all. The thought of Maria made her crazy. The fourth prince gave her a hand knife. Seeing 2 people interacting in front of him, the third prince is jealous. Brothers quarreling? Fortunately, the brothers of the third princes are here. Otherwise, the 2 of them might start a fight. The stranger suddenly appeared and made the girl look like a naughty girl. When Wasaka got a lift, the third prince could only tell her, "We met at the birthday party. A boy's apprentice, Taku Arai." It's strange that she can remember it with her memory. As for what they are doing here, the air is filled with the smell of embarrassment. As expected, it is Takito Koyasu. He plays such a unique character. It seems that the fiancé of the first prince is not normal either. The reincarnated girl finally did what a villain should do. As part of the school festival, the student union is going to perform a drama on stage. Maria as the protagonist plays Cinderella, but the person who played the bad guy's sister happened to be injured. They have to find an actor temporarily to replace him. Xiaolei thinks it's suitable for a girl to play a bad guy. Even Xiao Jin thinks so. This is the first appearance of 2 little fans. The 2 of them are really discerning. As a monkey, she is very self-aware. Despite everyone's strong request, she agreed. Although she have no confidence. But she can't live up to Sophia who wrote the script. In case, let's make a cheat sheet. The show is about to start. The fourth prince is composing the music. An accident happened when she was on stage. The cheat sheet cannot be picked up. It's time for Mary's character to retire. From now on, you can only rely on yourself. Stop and start in the brain. You can't just turn around and run away. I don't remember the content of the cheat sheet, but I remember my original lines as Catalina. That's not good. Halftime has passed. After watching her outstanding performance, Sophia became selfish. She temporarily modified the script. Change it to a story about a bad sister and the Black Knight. Please, isn't the protagonist Cinderella? However, the harem was arguing over the role of the Black Knight. This is the script Sophia revised for her brother. It can only be Nick. Now it's his turn. The second half of the play begins. The Black Knight steals the treasure. He take her hostage. The third prince was jealous because the 2 of them were so close. So he not following the script. This is shocking to others. Just fought like this for a long time. Finally he got Catalina back. Even her younger brother can't stand it anymore. His brother must be here to make fun of him. All the men in the harem started fighting. Fourth prince, why are you still playing the piano? Watching them duel. Mary actually still wants to participate. She must have been born the wrong gender. Seeing the scene becoming more and more chaotic. Fortunately, she successful rescue. Sure enough, the protagonist is yours. After the show, all kinds of fans came up to ask for autographs. But an accident happened. This girl was obviously kidnapped, but the treatment is too good, right? There are endless snacks and novels to read. Lying in bed at home and reading novels. I will be beaten by my mother if I act like this at home. I feel so comfortable that I don't want to go back. Can anyone kidnap anyone with snacks? Only one letter was left on the other side. The letter asking the third prince to give up the throne. I feel really sorry for the third prince. The real culprit of the kidnapping turned out to be this blue guy. He is quite handsome. Even the second prince's fiancée Selena was manipulated by him. The girl thought she was kidnapped for ransom. But if the ransom is too high, it's really mind-blowing. Hurry up and ask them how much ransom they want. But it's not for this. The real purpose was not told to her. Nervous girl is obsessed with reading novels. She forgot that she was kidnapped. The maid who took care of her was also laughed at. Mary, who was worried about the girl, recalled the fourth prince. She confessed to him. It shocked a lamb for 100 years. However, he never imagined that his fiancée was actually his love rival. Both of them were working hard to save the girl. Selena couldn't bear it and told Ka the truth about the kidnapping. She wants the second prince to inherit the throne. We must deal with the third prince first. Now the most people support the third prince to inherit the throne. Asking him to give up his inheritance rights can reduce the pressure. She didn't expect that Blue Hair would just take advantage of me. Blue Hair's ambition is to let the first prince get the throne. And he let Selena take the blame. This way you can wipe out two competitors at once. Selena envies her relationship with the third prince. In the eyes of outsiders, they love each other. Catalina is also known as the Saint. And she's also a saint. After being engaged to the second prince since childhood, she always liked him. But after so many years, neither her learning nor magic has improved. Selena, who has low self-esteem, feels that she is not worthy of the second prince. After a meal of purification by the saint, Selena plans to end this kidnapping case. This blue-haired guy has dark magic. In other words, I have done things like sacrificing people. The kidnapped girl finally has a sense of crisis. But she was surprised that she slept until the afternoon. That's not what should be surprising, right? She felt relieved after confirming that Selena was fine. Blue Hair once again told the kidnapping plan. But this plan does not include the fourth prince. What a miserable prince. Forget it, let's have breakfast first. Blue Hair was frightened by her appetite. How can this be a noble lady? At the request of the girl, Blue Hair began to talk about his life experience. He was born in a slum. He was abducted and sold to his current owner when he was a child. But he doesn't feel unhappy. The girl thinks his positive and optimistic attitude is particularly handsome. This answer made Blue Hair become interested in her. Being dominated by dark magic, he was also forced to perform the ritual after being knocked unconscious by the current owner. This gave her a breath of relief. This belly really knows how to growl at any time. Because Ka heard Blue Hair talk about a lot of foreign experiences. She wants to go out and travel around the world. Blue Hair thinks that if the two of them go together, it should be interesting. After hearing this, Blue Hair still agreed. The girl also plans to hook up. But there is no such way of making agreements in this world. She took out the stone she bought at the school festival. Isn't this really a confession? Girl, you are playing with fire. The maid came just in time. Inform her that a letter has arrived. But she was so weak that she thought dark magic was about to be cast on her. The letter stated that the location was exposed. After thinking about it, Blue Hair came to attack at night. She still sleeps soundly, although he wanted to take her with him to escape abroad. But it's too difficult. The harem finally arrived. The one who took the lead was the maid who took care of her. Her true identity is the president's boss. It's also the girl's future. But that's after graduation. She couldn't bear to look at Blue Hair leaving. The maid is really awesome in cross-dressing. She couldn't tell who it was at all. There are too many love rivals, right? The third prince discovered that she had been kidnapped, but her skin is better. She can't tell them that living here is more comfortable than usual. The third prince saw the red mark on her neck again. She just told that she was bitten by an insect. Selena also solved the misunderstanding with the second prince. Because Selena is too cute, he is deliberately indifferent to her. Otherwise, he won't be able to help but take action. After all, they are just engaged now. They finally can act like a normal couple. The girl who wakes up the next day. She really can't believe that she was kissed by the third prince. It's all a dream. However, the harem didn't think so. Obviously the next class will not be in the same classroom. They have to accompany her. Although this crisis has been resolved. But there is something more dangerous for them. Now the third prince has pursued her even more crazily. The fiancé of the first prince informed him. This incident was an unauthorized act by his supporters. For serious brother-in-laws. This is unforgivable. What a pervert. Seeing his brother for the first time since childhood, he swore to protect them. But then there were changes in the palace. The former king died before he could decide on his successor. The fathers fought. He was still young and couldn't take care of his younger brother. The relationship is estranged. How embarrassing. The third prince was given a lot of work by Mary, to reduce the time he spent meeting girls. The fourth prince said he was helpless. The two recalled their childhood. Because the fourth prince was frail and sickly since childhood, their mother basically takes care of the fourth prince. The third prince couldn't even see her on his most anticipated birthday. Looking out the window at other people's happiness, the third prince felt lonely and sad. As long as you don't have expectations, you don't have to feel these emotions anymore, right? Nothing matters anymore. His brother often comes to visit. No matter how cold he act, he will still come. Actually, he thank him very much. Since meeting Catalina, his life becomes interesting. Her forthrightness, it eased the relationship between him and the fourth prince. He finally expressed his gratitude to his brother. The fourth prince's condition finally improved when he was 5 years old. To make up for missed homework, he already studying very hard. But people around him still say he is the remnant of the third prince. Being constantly swallowed by malice and full of inferiority complex, the third prince didn't take himself seriously either. He feels sad that he didn't look good to his brother either. After meeting Catalina, It's obvious that no one is perfect. The third prince is also more humane than expected. The relationship between the two of them became better because of Catalina. The girl who has been followed for a day finally gets rid of her harem members, but she was still caught by the third prince. When she thought that she had a dream about kissing the third prince, she is just very shy. After all, I am a single mother. No, you are not allowed to come near my sister again. Please get out of the way of Master Keith. Since the third prince started his offensive, gifts are delivered every day. Today he also sent an invitation to spend the night at the royal villa. Now she feels shy when she sees the third prince. If you continue like this, you will go straight to get married. Definitely not fit to be a member of the royal family. What should I do? The result came anyway, but her younger brother insisted on following her. The smell of gunpowder was strong as soon as the two met. Everyone came. It's easier to monitor when everyone is here. Another letter from the fourth prince. She feels sorry for the third prince. There is a traitor around him. She feel uneasy when she think about not being able to climb trees and farm after getting married. Just in time Maria came. She tell her about the troubles just now. It suddenly started raining. The four of them went to the hut to take shelter from the rain. They recalled that they had come here to party when they were children. Maria, whom I only met after school, it was also invited by the third prince at that time. The third prince and his younger brother are really enemies, fighting from childhood to adulthood. I heard there is a beautiful lake through the forest. Little Catalina wants to go there, but there seems to be a ghost. After thinking about countermeasures, everyone thought it would be fun to look for ghosts. The fourth prince who was leading the charge seemed to be afraid of ghosts. Even if you were scared by a rabbit, you are still strong. They played happily until dark. Mary suggested that men and women team up to look for ghosts. Halfway through, it started raining again. They came to this hut. Sophia thinks it rains because she is cursed. Ka invites her to dance with her. She was frightened by sudden thunder. Mary comforted her that she would not be afraid if she thought of happy things. She began to imagine that the hero and the witch would defeat the dragon together. Then the two of them got together. And Sophia is yours. After the weather cleared, they came to this beautiful lake. After going back, they finally found the ghost. As expected of his mother, she is much scarier than a ghost. After the rain stopped, they also took Maria to this lake. Non-existent memories are added. After the incident, former president and blue hair. They are all assigned to the fiancé of the first prince in the magic province, Lana's department. This day Tina invites everyone to visit the ministry gate. The first people to greet them were blue hair and the president. Everyone showed hostile expressions. It's true that his love rival is extremely jealous when he meets her. The first person to show them around was a dollhouse that makes wishes come true. It allows people to experience a different life, just when it's time to explain. I was anxiously called away by people from the department. Sophia asked the girl what kind of life she wanted to experience. After she opened the cabin door, the hut suddenly lit up. Everyone was sucked into the hut. Lana just came back. She discovered that everyone had already experienced it in the cabin. First, the fourth prince. He is actually willing to be a bird, fly freely in the blue sky. I was stunned to see the people outside. Next up is Nick turning into a cat. Even a cat still has a magical smile. Sophia turned into a fairy. She become friends with Ka forever. This is very Sophia style. The third prince wants to live freely. Witness the actions of the third prince with their own eyes. Even the maid is anxious. It's Catalina's turn. As expected, she just wants to be a homegirl. If they have been immersed in the cabin, it's possible that they'll never come back. President Yu's maid decided to go in and save them. The two of them acted separately. The maid opened the first room. Oh! My eyes. Do you need so much muscle to make dim sum? The maid was so frightened that she quickly moved to the next room. Mary wants to be the king and snatch Ka away openly. I'm very supportive. Let's go to the next room. It's my brother's turn. The girl who realized something was wrong finally opened the door. She meet the maid and go to the last room. The president seems to be manipulated. After the girl's purification, the president finally woke up. But the doll also appeared. While the president is confronting the puppet, she unwound the clockwork. The crisis is over. Nick looked at the people around him. Most have a marriage contract. He is older than them but has not yet made an engagement. This has also become a topic among the nobles. That day, Nick and his father went out to work. On the way back, I met the president. It happened that the topic of engagement came up. The president doesn't know what a happy marriage looks like, but at least it doesn't go against your true heart. Nick's father didn't push him either. He also said that the most important thing about marriage is one's own thoughts. If you don't go against your own heart, then you might end up alone. The only person he can think of is Catalina, but she already has a fiancé, and they are still good friends. After thinking about it, Nick decided to go on a blind date. As expected of Nick, he received a lot of dating letters. The first person I met was Nick. I'm so nervous that my face is red. The first time undoubtedly failed. Following the blind date, every time they talk about a certain topic, Nick always thinks of Catalina. He don't know how many times later, unknowing Sophia. She sent him several books filled with stories about fighting for love with swords. It is undoubtedly a hint that he snatched Catalina. He had his last blind date. It's Xiaolei who appeared before. As soon as they met, she directly stated that she did not intend to get married. She came here this time only at the request of my parents, and she can see that Nick is not interested in going on a blind date. Nick is unaware of this. Relaxed Nick accidentally. Just put yourself. I say it when I like someone I can't like. Xiaolei feels that even if she is already engaged, as long as the woman has not fallen in love with the man, there is still a chance. Xiaolei seemed to also notice. Who does Nick like? Nick quickly changed the subject. He asked Xiaolei why she didn't want to get married. She said there was a senior she admired in the Ministry of Magic. She wanted to be as independent as her, but my parents objected. And as a noble lady, it is difficult to get a job in the Ministry of Magic. She recently heard that Catalina was invited to go to the Ministry of Magic. If she can succeed, she also have a chance. So I hope Nick won't give up either. From this moment on, Nick figured it out. When the two are about to part ways, Nick asked his father to reject the blind date application. His father also told him not to worry. Sophia, who learned that Nick was going on a blind date behind his back, she is a little angry. Her father, he also stole the marriage from his mother's then fiancé. She told him. Nikhil was surprised. Nick finally taking advantage of Sophia and Catalina to read novels. He also started to take the initiative to approach her. That day, my brother left a letter and disappeared. The letter states, I am unable to fulfill my responsibilities and obligations as the heir to the Duke's family. So I ran away from home. Please don't come to me. Katarina's mother told her. Keith has become depressed because of someone recently. It must be because the burden of taking care of her is too great. The gentle Keith couldn't bear to say that he hated her directly. Just written letter. But if you want to apologize, you have to find Keith first. The maid asked Catalina, who had packed her luggage, where to look. Obviously she didn't consider this issue. The third prince said she had an idea. Then he took her to see Na from the Ministry of Magic. There happens to be a magic doll that can find people. Personal belongings can be traced back to its owner. The more affection the item has for its owner, the easier it is to find it. After going back, the maid gives Keith's most important box to Catalina. Originally it couldn't be opened casually, but she can't care about that much now. After opening it, she found that they were all gifts from herself. She still have the one from when she was 8 years old. The maid even remembered the reason why she gave the gift. After bringing items to the Ministry of Magic, Lana gave the teddy bear her handkerchief and sniffed it. Why does it look a bit like a dog? The teddy bear master angrily pointed out where Keith was. Katarina also took the time to look for Keith. Accompanying her were the third prince and Maria and Na. Lan Mao escorted them as the coachman. When the third prince took her hand, her lack of response made the third prince feel a little uncomfortable. It seems that they are anxious to find Keith, and forgot about the relationship with the third prince. Everyone came to a certain town to take a rest. Lana said that after encountering magic, only your own world has color. Katarina feels that her experience is very similar to that of the third prince. It turns out that Geese planned to bring some snacks to Catalina on the way. Met a strange woman, caught under her inducement. The kidnapper was his brother. As soon as they met, he got angry when Keith called him by his first name. The five of them arrived in a town again, on the way to find the hotel singer. The girl was attracted by a black mirror. She thinks the mirror is very beautiful. The third prince bought it and gave it to her. This is also a key prop. Just when he wanted to confess himself to Ka again, he was stopped by Blue Hair. She was entrusted by Mary to protect Ka. More for myself. After returning to the hotel, Maria once again thanked Ka for being her friend. This sentence must be a confession. Brother Keith commissioned this woman to torture him. He is unhappy now that Keith is the heir to the Duke's family. Why is his status higher than him? And this woman. Just what we need is a mentally tough dark magic experiment subject. Ka seemed to have a premonition of Keith screaming. She wake up from nightmare. Ka, who went out to relax, met the third prince. He gently hugged Ka, who had a nightmare. At this time, Blue Hair came to disturb the situation again. Ka looked confused. They rushed to the next town. The third prince said there were acquaintances here and left first. Na arranged for the remaining Blue Hair and Ka to move into groups. Blue Hair said he didn't expect to actually go on a trip. It must have been supported by a gem. Ka was surprised that he actually brought it with him. Blue Hair said, "This is an important gem that contains the color of the eyes of two people." They met in the evening without any clues. At this time Maria felt the existence of dark magic. Lana chased after her but found no one. Maria said after returning to the hotel, that was the most powerful dark magic she had ever seen. Ka comforted the frightened Maria. Na used wind magic to get information from the president. Learned that Keith had met his biological mother before he disappeared. At this time, the teddy bear sensed the presence of Keith again. It pointed a direction to Na. She went back to the hotel and informed everyone about the incident. Keith was kidnapped. not running away from home. Keith's mother was also controlled by dark magic, and Keith is now in a mansion outside the city. Finally came the final chapter of saving my brother. They bide their time outside the mansion where Kate was kidnapped. Maria sees the whole mansion, all swallowed up by dark magic. Support from the Ministry of Magic is still on the way. Ka, who is too worried, wants to go in and save him now. The third prince also expressed his accompaniment. Lana couldn't resist their requests. She agreed to go in with her. Ka thanked the third prince for agreeing with her proposal. Several people planned to enter through the back door. There are fewer guards here. Blue Fur created a little chaos first. Everyone took the opportunity to enter the house. The three of them protected Xiaoji and Maria, who were unable to fight. By the way, don't heal your enemies. According to Maria's sense of dark magic, everyone came to the last room. They saw brother of Keith lying on the ground. He kept blaming others. He also said that it became like this. It's all because they took their place. They opened secret door. Keith lay on the ground miserably. The concentration of dark magic here, high enough that anyone without light magic can see it. Ka rushed to Keith anxiously. Maria said the source of dark magic here is Keith. He was subjected to some kind of ritual. Dark magic is too strong and cannot be removed by others. You can only look for the caster. Ka called out to Keith sadly. At this time, the mirror he bought before glowed. Some of the dark magic surrounding Keith has been removed. Only something like a snake is left. Ka grabbed the snake body without hesitation. She continuously tearing Keith in the subconscious. I finally remembered that I still have the most important person. Keith finally woke up. Before Ka could react, dark magic turned into a dog and stuck to him. The murderer behind the scenes also came out. She said it was an experiment she did, to create a familiar of darkness, but she was actually attracted by Ka. It's obvious that Ka doesn't have dark magic power. As soon as she finished saying that she would give the dog to Ka, she disappeared. This dog is really regarded as a pet by Ka, and it's very obedient. There is no need to put in 10 cables. You can even catch it in the shadow. That's great. I also want a dog that is so easy to use. At this time the maid told little Keith to wake up. Ka, who was hugging Keith, suddenly became shy. The young boy remembered what happened yesterday. 2 years of student life is coming to an end. Everyone also welcomed the graduation banquet. The harem members sent graduation blessings one after another. Ka's little fangirl also sent flowers. The arrogant Xiao Jin said, Ka is not as popular as anyone else. She still gave her carefully selected candy flowers. Don't tell me that you really understand her. In fact, Ka still has a lot of hidden support groups. Ka asked them if they wanted to attend the banquet in the castle. Xiao Jin's family is not a noble family. She has no suitable dress. Ka said she would lend her the dress. My mother also relieved that Ka could graduate smoothly. What a real mother. The sensible Xiao Jin is already prepared to be jealous of the harem. Ka also wondered why she was jealous. I saw that the carriage brought a lot of luggage. Xiao Jin thought she was going to live with the third prince. Ka said that everyone in the student union is going to have a girls' party. Hey, Xiao Jin, you can feel relieved now. Girl, do you dare to be more obvious? Upon arrival at the castle, Lana gave Ka a big hug. Selena also thanked her. It was thanks to herself that she could fall in love with the second prince so much. The third prince is jealous again. These are your brothers. The third prince invited her to dance. Ka is still doubting. Such an outstanding third prince actually likes her. The third prince saw the distracted Ka. Keith also came. He used the excuse of having a visitor to find the third prince and send him away. Her brother also invited her to dance. The younger brother kept repeating not to go to the third prince's room. When he saw Ka, he didn't quite understand why he couldn't go. The younger brother said, Nick is here too. As soon as you appear on the stage, you will be fascinated by the people around you. Are you a walking bioweapon? Ka heard about Nick's blind date. Seeing that things were not going well for him, I thought that a blind date would be as difficult as a duel. Nick said that the current situation is not suitable for finding a partner. After it was over, Xiaoka went to look for something to eat again. The fourth prince finally appeared. As soon as he came out, he complained about Kai's eating so much, even laughed out loud. Ka, who was not convinced, said it was really delicious. She just feed him. Now that the track has been found, can't you be more proactive? Mary and Sophia appear again. They also want Ka to feed them. Have you been watching for a long time? So timely every time. Ka rushed directly to his brother's room. She need to show him new pajamas, and took it off right away. Her brother was very excited when he saw it. Ka has no idea of the seriousness of the matter. During this period of time, her brother actually wanted to prevent him from being troubled, just pretending that nothing happened. But she came to the men's room in her pajamas. This is a sheep entering the tiger's mouth. No matter what happens, I can't complain. Keith kissed her forehead and said, Fortunately it's me. If I were the third prince, you wouldn't even have any bones. With that said, he threw her out. Everyone had a happy girls' party. Ka asked Maria what kind of person she likes. Maria said as cheerful as the sun. People who like to eat my snacks. Mary agrees with Maria's words. She also added that his hair is brown. Eyes are aqua blue. You might as well just read your ID card. The party passed so happily. Ka dreamed that her best friend was playing the sequel to the game. It's the plot of Maria entering the Ministry of Magic. There will be new strategy objects inside. And the villain is Catalina. It scares the child. You, the screenwriter, have gone too far. The harem come to help Kaka complete the last harvest. She said Xiao Jin would take over the field later. Ka and Maria are going to start working at the Ministry of Magic. Lan Mao and the president are also their seniors. And to take them to learn about the Ministry of Magic. It's actually the new target of my dream. No. It's not. Special no. No way.